Oh yeah, I forgot the music's muted. Let's change that. Man, today's been a day, that's for sure. Been doing a lot of technical things behind the scenes, so I may not be in the best mood to start this. I'm just gonna be 100% honest. In fact, a little late starting this because of the firmware update that Nintendo released today for the Switch 2. Man, it broke a lot of my setup. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting way to start tonight's stream. So we're gonna be finishing up Donkey Kong Country Returns HD tonight, as we only have the boss in World 8 to finish, the final boss in the game, and the final special world in the game. Compared to the Wii version, it's a whole world. 9 levels this time instead of just 1. So we got a lot of stuff here to cover, and I'm just gonna jump right into the game itself here. Get things started. I'm gonna mention right now, only the very, very specific people might notice, but I'm having capture issues with the Switch 2 right now because of this firmware update, so everything's gonna have a slight bit more of like a green hint to it for some reason. I heard this update also broke like every third-party dock on the market. So this is not a good update, from what I'm understanding. Apparently it broke a lot of stuff. So I'm waiting now for my capture card to get an update, to probably fix this, which is kind of annoying. Alright, let's just jump in. I see everyone there in the chat. How's everyone doing? Hey there, Kira, Aiden, Jay Hazen, Matt. How we all doing? Now, there's already kind of talk, and I'm just going to say this tonight. Please, don't try to backseat, because I'm not in the mood for it. If I get those kind of comments, I'm just instantly timing you out. I'm sorry. But there's been some speculation if I should do this boss now, or I should just do the special world, but because it's a big world, and I want to get the hardest thing out of the way first, we are starting tonight with 8B. We're going to just rip the band-aid off and get this one done, because this is a hard fight. So I want to get this taken care of now, because the rest of the night I want to be able to just enjoy the levels. Because World 9, by comparison, is going to be a cakewalk. What's wrong, Catcher? At least for me, I can see that there's a green hue to it. Like, the gray is now more like this gray, like greenish gray. It's a little messed up. I think there's like some kind of like color spectrum that just got changed or something in the back end, which is weird. I can literally look at my capture from like yesterday on something, and it looks completely different from today's. It's really weird, but it's like a very minute thing. It's just kind of annoying as someone who wants to capture things raw, because then I can edit that stuff later, and that screws up like a lot of my presets. So this section here is pretty difficult, but it's the same no matter if you're playing normal or mirrored, so it's one hit no matter what. After this, though, we are going to be getting a checkpoint, so we only have to do the rocket barrel once, which is good. Because what's coming up next is going to be the real challenge. Just follow the banana trails here, and that's my safe zones. This is like the scariest part, is when they're closing in the pillars. Thankfully, that's it. So now we're done with the barrel part. It's the boss now that we're going to be spending the majority of our time. Hey, look. Our bananas. They're just sitting here, waiting for me. Oh, goody. I like how this cutscene also is different if you have Diddy Kong with you. So in mirror mode, you just never see the Diddy Kong version of the cutscene. Like, ever. Yeah, because this cutscene's not mirrored. False advertisement. I mean, the one cutscene they don't mirror. Cowards. Legit shot they are playing it, because this is the only story cutscene you'll see in mirror mode. Because the others, we automatically skip. because of how the file's set up. It's kind of weird they even bother with this one. You made those hands out of my bananas. How does it even work? Aren't they made of wood? Bananas are full of potassium, not full of splinters. Also, it's Nintendo's favorite boss, floating head with hands. Who would have seen that coming? It's the exact thing you always see in every product. So, yeah, this is going to be a lot of memorization, the fight. And it's a very long fight. You think the chicken boss is bad enough? No, this thing is worse. I jumped too late. I gotta wait for his hand to glow, because the fight, the more I play it, everything's gonna come back to me. But there's tells. When his hands are glowing, then that's when he's about to attack. So I wait for that shine, and then I do something. They'll duck or jump, depending. Thankfully, his hands are really good tells for what's gonna happen. Plus, you can make this easier by just jumping over to the hand and then bouncing off of it, which is not what you would expect. I think you can get a hit off of that attack, but it's a little risky to do because of how fast everything moves. I usually take a hit if I'm going to try to go for that specific hit. But that's not happening in Mirror. Yeah, I'm just going to say, please don't backseat at all. That was a warning before. I will say the ban was a little much. I can fix that, but that'd be a timeout. Next time you do that, then yes, we are definitely saying that's a ban. Now, how do you unban someone here? Because I've not dealt with that before. What if I just do this? Go on my actual channel to fix that. But yeah, please don't. I appreciate hints and all that, but immediately when you start off saying, hey, do this or that, that's not a hint. That is flat out telling someone how to play a game, and that is too far. I ask people, don't do that for a reason, because that is not appreciated at all. You don't want to tell someone exactly what to do. I don't really see a way to undo that at the moment. I'm gonna just have to continue for now, because if my mods can figure that out, that'd be preferred. Because I don't know how to do it on YouTube. I know on Twitch. I have more of a challenge with this than in the Tropical. I mean, it's hard to say if this is a longer fight or the one in Tropical Freeze, because they're both pretty long. It's either way you look at it, the final boss is probably the hardest one for these one-hit KO challenges. So no matter which one you're talking about, they both suck. 9 for 5. Okay, thanks for that heads up. On my side, it just says flat out ban, which is a little excessive. No wonder why I can't find the option. Thanks for that, Matt. I appreciate it. The thing is, this is only phase 1 when we're dealing with the hands. The next part of the fight gets a lot more aggressive, too. This is also when he opens his hands, is when you get hearts, but, yeah, about that. We're getting no help for this, because I am not allowed. One hit for a reason. Holy crap, okay, I held down, and then it just instantly held up. That was scary. The D-pad, man, on Switch controllers, they can give you a heart attack during moments like this. Alright, the hands are down, so that's phase 1, which means now we're into phase 2. Okay, that's what I get for looking over for a second. I was trying to read what you were saying there, Kira. Someone caught up a theory DK's Banana has a high enough count they can match a Power Star's strength from Odyssey Moon logic or something. I mean, I guess, like, with how this game's story goes, I can kind of see that. These bananas seem to have, like, mythical powers to them, which makes no sense, but it's a video game, so that's how we get all of our powers. I mean, you collect the crystal versions of bananas in Donkey Kong Bonanza, and that's what makes Donkey Kong stronger. So I can see that logic. They're essentially just Donkey Kong's equivalent of a Power Star. But I will apologize. I'm gonna be, like, glancing over at chat here and there during this fight. This is also why I want to get this out of the way first, so that we can have, like, proper conversations in World 9. So that's gonna help. Oh, thanks. There. One, how you doing, Amber? But thank you for becoming a member on the channel. Hope you're doing well. And enjoy those emotes on YouTube. Okay, that was close. I wouldn't, but to go back to this, I don't think anyone's struggling with these bosses. We can say it's a quote-unquote skill issue when you're in a one-hit KO state. Because you make one tiny mistake and the entire fight is over. But with how long these fights are, things are very unforgiving. Plus, sometimes down on D-pad won't help in my case, I've noticed. But you make one tiny little error and that's it. I wouldn't even say that's a skill issue. That's just exhaustion kicking in. These fights are hard. Legitimately, on my first playthrough, I remember, like, this was years ago, so this was when I was in, like, high school. I remember playing this on the Wii and having a really hard time against this fight, so I bought the banana juice to have, like, 10 extra hits. Without that banana potion, I'd have a really hard time fighting this guy, because I just took hits left and right. Alright, so just like the hands, he swoops down, you can duck under the head. I got this, which also supposed to spit out hearts, but nope. This is the hard mode, so what hearts? Okay, nice. I love how the Switch 1's D-pad was considered one of the worst on Nintendo's controllers. This is the same thing. I feel it in this boss fight more than anything else. Maybe I should be starting to hold down with the joystick just to be safe. I'm just holding straight down, but my finger wiggles left or right. I guess it counts as a left or a right input as well. And you can't do that because then you move. So that's annoying. I will say, that's the one thing I love about Joy-Cons. I don't like their small size, but those separate buttons with the D-pad is fantastic. That's why I legit would only play Tetris with a Joy-Con. Because it is just that much better for Tetris. By playing that with a Pro Controller, oh god. I hear people who play that game, like, competitively, at least they did, like, for Tetris 99, swore by the Joy-Con because of those D-pads. Alright, do the fake out. Laugh at me. Smash. There we go. Yeah, I think you use the duck the most here, honestly, in the whole game. Nice. I jumped as soon as he hit. In any other situation, yeah, duck is pretty useless. It's mainly, like, honestly, it's the minecart levels in this. Those are the most useful duck has ever been for this game. And then air time is just, you use it for the blowing. You're doing good, Amber. That's good to hear. Like I said, it's kind of an annoying tech day, I would say. Just doing a lot of crap behind the scenes. Like, a lot of it is just because of that Switch 2 firmware update. It kind of screwed up a lot of my stuff on the tech side. My capture card started to freak out. I mean, at one point, this is why the stream was delayed a bit. I couldn't get a signal to my screen at all. I was getting it to the card, but not to the monitor I play on, so I don't know what they did in the back end, but something changed with version 21.00 with video output, because it broke a lot for me, and I don't know why. I had to completely reset my system and it fixed it. Like a complete power off. Hopefully it'll fix it quick. I mean, I would hope, but also, I just don't get Nintendo much faith. But it's also, it's like, capturing Switch and Switch 2, to be fair, with a capture card has always been finicky. For all the wrong reasons. It's because of just how the dock, I guess, interacts with stuff. It just gets kind of controlling. Because I had some weird issues with Switch 1 for a while, too, which capture card manufacturers had to kind of step in and fix for, like, capture stuff. They had to update their cards to fix, which was a thing I hope other companies would do for Switch 2. I don't know. I heard Switch 2 was kind of a nightmare when it first came out for some capture card manufacturers. Because they really had to just quickly update everything to fix their stuff. I just don't like how this update broke third-party docks entirely, because an official one's too expensive and hard to get. But you can get like a little dongle for 30 bucks off Amazon. Now they're useless, which that sucks. I feel like that should be illegal based on European law, so maybe the EU will get involved to crack down Nintendo's practices. Because this generation is the most anti-consumer I've seen in a while. Capture card driver update when? That's what I would hope. Because this card hasn't got an update in like 3 years. It needs one. Although, I will say, behind the scenes, I am using an AverMedia Live Gamer 4K, and it just feels like as soon as they release the newer version of it, they just abandon the old one. It hasn't gotten an update in a while, but they've updated their 2.1 card, like, it felt like every month for a while. Like, it just got an update probably a couple weeks ago, too. Not this one, though. This one just exists. One thing I don't like is I'm just right in the middle of his hands when he's doing that attack. I gotta be ready for it a little bit faster. I will say that's the worst attack to deal with for the hands. When he's clapping down with both. You don't have that much time to move, so I gotta really be anticipating it. Because your roll takes a... Well, that was weird. Your roll takes a second to start up, and that extra second to start is enough to get you killed. There you go. See, that's a better lineup, because I'm on one side, I can just roll to the right. There you go. Right hand's going on left, left hand's down. You might almost have enough time to hit that hand in this setup. Now it's only the one, it's a little bit safer to try that, but even then, I'd still rather duck and then go for the attack. You can jump over that, it's just way too risky. There we go. Alright. Get me into the head phase. There we go. Use some pause buffering to make this easier. And even then, that didn't help because of DK's like kind of turn. Like, why does he take so long to move? I had to turn around there on my left because the right side was no good. But unfortunately, that was enough to get me killed. So, I'm going to pause buffer that specific attack just to make that easier. I'll have a lot more time to judge which fireballs are raining down if I can just have a split second to study it. Doing that with it moving is not recommended for just one heart. That was close. Get out of here. Like I said, that's safer to do after he attacks, and sure enough. You're lucky. Like I said at the end of the last stream, I'm gonna research this if I have the time and maybe practice. I didn't get to do that, but I do have a lot of other knowledge from playing other hard platforms this week, and I'm using that knowledge here. So the pause buffering thing is helping because I just recently beat 20XX a couple times, and pause buffering was the strat for that kind of game. It's kind of like a similar idea for this. Any super fast-paced things, pause to give yourself a second to look. Okay, that head staying in the background kind of scared me there for a second. Alright, one more. I don't like this. Thankfully, that was fine. Still doing more. Okay. Just keep on unloading fire, I guess. Doing this, good. He doesn't have as much time on the ground now, that's the big problem. Alright, we're doing the homing attacks. Oh, I don't like this. Holy crap, how did I not get hit? These home into your direct location and continue to follow you. Ugh, that's not comfortable without Diddy. Come on, how is that not fast enough? I'm hesitating to go forward because I don't know what else he's doing, but that hesitation will get me killed. Like that. See, the problem now is after I get 2 hits, about a second to hit his head is not enough time. Okay. I just got momentum. Go. It's gonna be kind of slow paced going through this fight, but slow and steady is gonna keep me alive. I say as immediately switch to D-pad happens. God, that was a hard attack waiting to happen. That's gonna happen a lot, isn't it? Yeah, music here's a little repetitive for my liking, but it is a good tune at the very least. It's the same song we heard since the beginning anytime we saw a Tiki. But it is like a remixed version of the song. So I do appreciate it, but it's a little repetitive after a while. Doesn't help that this fight is so long. You will hear it a lot. There you go. I can take it slow for the first 2 hits. Remember that. Want to get under him for this. And I forgot the smoke itself is also hitboxness for some reason. I get the fire, but the smoke? Are you kidding me? How is that a hitbox? Okay, I didn't know you can die off of the stationary hand. That's actually news to me. I thought I would bounce off of it like, you know, normal, but that was not a bounce. What I get for going for the extra hit, I guess. Oh, I learned something for later. So the low hand go for it, not the high hand. I know what you're gonna do. Go for it. Unfortunately, that's your cupped hand, so it's worthless for me. Still cupped. No. I got a low jump off of that. That's bad. It's too far away. It's good that we're going after this first, because this fight, man... Oh, nice jump. Again, low jump, too far. This fight is going to exhaust me by the end, so it'd be nice to just have a casual stroll through the rest of World 9 instead of having to deal with this at the final hour. Yeah, we're getting to the head phase pretty consistently, which is the last part. I think if I hit him that third time in that previous attempt, I think that might have been enough health, and I would have been done. I think it's 3 hits on the head, but, you know, not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. Might be more, but I thought it was 3. So if we get that third hit, I will hopefully be done. It's just a matter of getting back there now. It's gonna be ironic, because now we're dealing with loss in hands, but the hands to me are the easier part of this fight, of the 2 different phases here. Because it's a lot more telegraphed, and the dangers here are mainly just, can you read the thing before it hits you? Compared to the fire, which lasts way longer, and is a lot more threatening on the arena. It just takes up more space. This, on the other hand, a little more concise on where you jump and dodge. So you know what you're doing more ahead of time. Yeah, 2 hits on hand, 3 hits on the head. Does seem a little bit weird on numbers, but also, usually in Nintendo games, the floating head with hand boss is kind of like that in general, where the hands are just the weaker part. And this kind of adds up to that. 2 hits per hand, and then 3 on the heads, totaling 6. That adds up for the rest of the fights in the game. I might also, on the third time he slams his head down, pause buffer that. Just so I can get a gauge of when I can attack the head. That would help. No. Okay, just had enough time. If you hit the side of his head, that's essentially just a waste of your time. Oh, he's doing it again? Okay, didn't expect that. I could have killed him right then and there. Alright, let's just focus. Let's go! There we are. That only took about 40 minutes. That wasn't that terrible. We were on the final boss, I think, longer in Tropical Freeze, right? I'm gonna just go fact check that because I need to also do another thing while I'm on YouTube anyways. But we did it. That is the end of all the boss fights. There's no more bosses in the whole game. I'm very happy about that. Okay, we were here. Roughly around the same time. According to what I'm seeing on YouTube, I did spend like 30 minutes on the final boss in Tropical Freeze, so roughly around the same. Oh, my hand. That hurt. It's like I punched a whole moon or something. There's all my bananas. We freed them all. Also, who's this guy behind my back? He wasn't here the whole adventure. Glory Hog. He's just showing up at the final second. Not supposed to be doing that. Oh, we actually get credits now. Huh. No. No, we're not done yet. We don't get credits. We will come back to those. I will say, though, I'm shocked I get credits in mirror mode. That doesn't make any sense. But okay, sure. So that was it for everything in mirror mode's base game, which if we were in the Wii version, there'd only be one more thing left, which is required for the K stuff. This is where things are gonna get weird, and that's why I have a thing pulled up here on my sake, trying to see. Okay, yeah, we're not gonna see the cutscene. I am gonna go in the level though. We're heading in. Wait a minute, I feel like there's something more here. Like, a lot more. Like, I feel like I missed context more. That's because we did. We missed a lot of context for beating the game. So I just grabbed the random YouTube video. Shout out, I guess, to Beer Bear for this one. We're gonna just watch how you're supposed to unlock this stuff, because I unfortunately am not be doing that. Because this is already unlocked on this file, as you can tell. But for beating the game, you do unlock a little extra. And this specific extra is where we're going to be spending the remainder of tonight's stream. Thank you for the $5 super chat there, Aiden. I appreciate it. Also, Peace in the Cloud will unlock the cutscene in the extra menu. That's good to know. We get that so late that I think it still makes more sense to see it in the video, because there's also another thing we're missing, which I don't think they actually show this. So, again, we'll just see it in the video. You, unfortunately, can only play the Golden Temple level once, and that's like a quote-unquote unplay, because this isn't a level at all. This is a gateway to open up World 9. So, your quote-unquote playing here is just running up the stairs, hitting this switch right in front of a door, and like feeding all the crystals from all the K levels. If you don't have enough, the door just says, hey, go back and get the things you're missing. But, yeah, we got everything, so we're just right in, and that unlocks World 9. So this cutscene, again, we don't get to see that in this playthrough. But, we do now, because I'm watching it back. Again, this could have been a cutscene menu thing, but we're just watching it now. Like, ooh, golden banana. I'm gonna just open it, and oh my god, that's not banana. That's teleport juice. Which just makes no sense, but it's a video game, so what do you expect? And that opens up World 9, which normally is just one level, so this just teleports you into 9K if you were playing the Wii version, but starting in the 3DS version, yeah, it's more than just that one level now. You get an entire set of levels for this section of the game. This is your post-game in Donkey Kong Country Returns. This was inspired, I think, for 3 whole levels in Tropical Freeze. I don't know, man. I'm just making things up. Let's go in! Plus 35 rats from eating that banana. Man, that's a topical reference, Matt, because everybody hated that. Yeah, we can talk about that now, because we're in that section of the game where we can just kind of chill. Before I get into, like, whatever topics, I'm going to mention these levels, they are brand new, 9.1, 9 to 9.8. These were introduced in 3D, not a thing in the Wii version, but unfortunately, I will say, these levels, they're not that much of a challenge compared to the final level in this game, 9K, like the final real level of Donkey Kong Country Returns from the Wii game. So, you will feel a little bit of a difficulty difference going from all these 9 levels to 9K, like the final one. Because these feel more like they were based off of, like, each world you play, and we're supposed to be in those worlds. But instead, they were put in a special world at the end, which you only get for essentially 100%ing the whole game. So there is a little bit of a difficulty shift, and you will have to be prepared for that. But that's pretty much the only thing to mention, I would say, for this kind of a stage. Or just world in general, because everything else is pretty straightforward at this point. You see me play all this stuff, it's the same as, like, the rest of the levels we've played so far, in terms of concept and even challenges. And they all have checkpoints too, so I don't have to worry about the mirror mode stuff, because they're checkpoints here. The final level won't have checkpoints. And yeah, there's no Kong letters in this either, because the only reason the Kong letters existed were those special levels, which there's no more to unlock, so there's just no more Kong letters at all. But yeah, I guess we can talk about the big thing, right? What did Bethesda do now? The bare minimum, and still broke everything. So, yeah, that's a news topic I was wanting to talk about in general, so I'm glad you brought it up yourself, Matt. This past, what was it, a couple weeks ago or so? I can't remember exactly when, but it was very recent. Bethesda had this, like, special live stream event for their Fallout Day. That's, like, a thing they do every year to celebrate Fallout stuff. And it amounted to basically a nothing burger of a whole announcement, because they had, like, nothing in it that people cared about, like, at all. But the big thing was a Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, which everyone just completely questioned why that needed to exist, because didn't we just get an anniversary patch kind of thing? Like a big patch for the PS5 and the Xbox Series last year? And yes, we did. That patch broke the game. It took 18 months for them to fix the bugs that were introduced with that patch, by the way. It's the only good thing that came out of this Anniversary Edition, so we'll get to what else is bad about it, because a lot was screwed up. But the announcement of this Anniversary Edition was unnecessary. The Switch 2 Edition is the only, like, notable thing from this Anniversary port, because you can play the game on PC natively, you can play it on PS5 and Xbox Series because it's backwards compatible, and Fallout 4 had a big update for those systems. So there was no reason for it to be getting this big re-release. And the re-release itself has now just come out to a resounding why and a resounding frustration from the fanbase. It just came out, like, what, a day or two ago, and reviews are already in the mostly negatives. People are already looking for ways to downgrade back to the previous couple versions, not even just previous version, because of how that patch from last year broke a lot of stuff. And also, the prices are ridiculous, because, like, at least if you're on PC, to get the whole base game with the Anniversary Edition, it's $60. That's what they're charging for this version, which seems a little aggressive for a 10-year-old game. To get the upgrade alone is $40. I own Fallout 4. If I want to get the upgrade, it's going to cost me $40 extra just to get a version of the game that doesn't function well at all. Why? So, yeah, that's pretty much the current state of that game now, and everyone's very upset about it. It broke a lot of mods if you're on PC. It also broke some functionality for, like, lower-end systems, I believe, so it's just a little bit harder to run for, like, no reason. And it's a mess right now. It is the classic Bethesda move where we're going to re-release a thing for, like, no reason, because we got nothing else to do today, I guess, and it's a quick cash grab. But unfortunately, that re-release is worse than the original version that came out 10 years ago. Ask any Skyrim fan, this happened, like, once a year for a good 5 years. This is something that Bethesda just is known for. They do this way too frequently. And it's bad. So that's just been a fun news cycle this past, like, couple days. Because everyone just points and laughs at the Big B. Because the Big B doesn't know what they're doing. Which is nothing new. See ya. I did miss one piece. As I was getting into those topics, I just blanked on one, I guess. So I need to pull up all that stuff anyways. Let me see if I can get the puzzle piece guide on standby. Because I want to make sure, did I miss one after this checkpoint? If so, we'll take the L now. But if it's before the checkpoint, I'll just replay. That'd be way faster. Thankfully, I can just look real fast here. So that one I got. This one, yeah. Number 3. Let's see. Yeah, no, I missed 4, so I'm gonna have to go back, because that's like after the first checkpoint. That's fine. Yeah, I want to know what's going on with Elder Scrolls 6, too. I agree on that one, Matt. They announced that in 2019. During, I would feel, the last big E3, because starting in 2020, that's when that event went downhill, so that's a whole other story. But they announced it in 2019, and then that's it. That's the whole history of Elder Scrolls 6 right now. It's a whole nothing. So that's stupid, and it has been now 6 years of radio silence. That's supposed to be Bethesda's next big project, because Starfield was their big thing for these past few years in development. And since that's long out and done, there's no other big projects that presumably they're working on. So it's got to be Elder Scrolls 6 they're focusing on now, but we don't know anything about it. We just know it exists, and that's it, which is the most basic sentence. Get lumped in with Beyond Good and Evil 2 at this point, because I swear, I don't know which one exists more or less, because they're both radio silent. Elder Scrolls 6 or Beyond Good and Evil 2. They're both as problematic for being announced extremely early for no reason. All just mainly to build up hype, which doesn't really help anyone. Yeah, want to see me do it again? Oh, it's funny you actually mentioned that, too. Like, the want to see me do it again joke. I wasn't even paying attention, because now I'm just thinking of that Sonic Racing Crossworlds ad that came out earlier. God, I need to play that ad. If people haven't seen it, I'm going to pull it up. I'll show it after I'm done with this one. But let's just say, if you're a fan of SpongeBob, you're going to like the latest trailer Racing Crossworlds put out for its DLC. Because they put out 2 trailers today, I believe. They have one for the next set of first-party characters coming, so the Sega characters, which was Knights, II from Super Monkey Ball, and it looked like the Forces OCs. So that's cool. Knights and II make a lot of sense to be in the game because they were in the last 2 Sonic and Sega racing games. But the Forces characters, you know, like the custom OC just makes sense. I mean, they're in that Sonic Rumble pay-to-win game, which is it's a whole other can of worms. That just go watch the VOD for my first impressions on Rumble to really hear me hate that game. It was fun to play, but dear God, man, they really want me to spend money, and I don't want to spend money. I got the ad. I'm gonna play that after we're done. I don't normally show these, but I feel like this just came out like a few hours ago. A lot of people might not have seen this. But I'm going to play it after we're done with the stage. Because now we got the puzzle pieces. I just got to finish. Oh, they were IDW comic characters? Okay, I didn't know that. I only glanced at the trailer real quick. I didn't get to watch it fully, so I just saw it on my timeline. And they look like the OC characters, so I couldn't tell. Honestly, that's even bigger. If, you know, it's just IDW stuff. Because, actually, I think this might be the first time for a Sonic game that feature anything IDW related then. Because they don't do that normally at all. They've kept the comic stuff separate from the game lore for years. Alright, there we go, we're done. Yeah, I agree with the Cross-World Mario Kart trailer. That's still my favorite one because of how stupid the Mario Kart situation is. And it's very easy to make fun of. It really is. Oh, and that's also where the stuff's coming from. I forgot today was a state of play as well, Amber. That's probably why this stuff came out of nowhere for me, because I didn't even realize there was a state of play. Alright, I just gotta play the one for SpongeBob, because that legit made me smile. Since I've been seeing this kind of ad a lot for that, like, one SpongeBob energy drink, or whatever kind of, like, drink they partnered with. This specific joke, so I guess this is the in-joke for SpongeBob right now, but it still got a smile out of me.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for!
You can tell it's the original audio, though. Like, it is not re-recorded. You can hear it.
Preparing the Krabby Patty!
Like, the joke legit fits for this specific trailer because of it being the Krabby Patty car. Because of this being the Krabby Patty car, the build-up actually fit it. Because I've been seeing this specific joke with some kind of, like, soft drink or energy drink. I don't know what it is, but some kind of drink company product that was partnered with SpongeBob for a SpongeBob drink. This fits better. Because it's the legit Krabby Patty, and this is based off of the Krabby Patty formula joke. So, I legit love that ad. I don't normally, like trailers like that, but this kind of trailer got me. Because I just love the build-up. I think they actually revealed what the Krabby Patty secret formula is via, like, some random social media post years ago. Because we never learned what it was in history for SpongeBob, like in universe, but then they randomly talked about it on Twitter. I think it was supposed to be like some horseradish or something. I gotta look it up, I can't remember. It's like some random sauce. So the state of play was Japanese only with subs and only shows everything we know about. I mean, that just sounds like a typical state of play period, though. What state of play have we seen lately that was not just a bunch of repeats? Like, that's just kind of the problem with those events now. Most of the stuff they have to talk about is stuff that's been announced like months ago. So we usually get a lot of the same crap. That's why I mainly just watch that stuff via clips later when they post the individual trailers. I don't really watch the events fully for a lot of these, like, gaming announcements. Because a lot of the times, they're just mainly things we've heard about. And then, like, you get those nuggets of new things here and there that I might be interested in. So I'll just watch the trailers back later. Because I just don't have that time anymore for that stuff. Nice hitbox. Yeah, the Krabby Patty secret formula is technically like a big secret. They don't want anyone to know about it. Which is kind of the joke in the whole universe. Although I would have liked that episode to have ended with... I've heard this theory go around too, which would have just been a funny thing to end the Krabby Patty secret formula episode with. They could have just ended it with a bit where Mr. Krabs did just say, the secret formula is just plankton. Because that is a joke they made in the show at one point, which... He was asked, like, wait, are you serious? No, I'm not serious. But they could have played around that joke. It could have just been a running gag thing. Let's see if there's anything else here, because that one puzzle piece in the beginning I just legit forgot about. I've only played these levels a grand total of once, by the way, because I never really beat the 3D version of Returns. I have played some of the first world, but that's about it. So it wasn't until this version of the game where I've actually played the World 9 levels. So I'm not going to be fully familiar with a lot of stuff here. I might actually miss a couple things here and there more often in World 9 than I would normally, because I've, like I said, never fully played these levels until recently. Oh yeah, that's where you need the barrel. That's going to be a lot harder, though, without Diddy. Because I would want to hover that, and I don't have the hover pack. Wait, really? There's a PS5 in Japan that's only about... Well, I guess when you convert it, 55k yen, I guess is around 300 USD. Yeah, that's kind of low. Man, why are our prices inflated? Man, it's like our current economy is terrible because our leadership is terrible here. I hate politics. That's the most we're getting into politics here. Because I don't want to. Okay, didn't think that was gonna work. Good, I don't have to do that anymore. Yeah, I'm a little jealous for Japan having a cheaper PS5 at this point than what we have. I imagine that's gonna be the digital SKU based on the pricing of it. But yeah, we just don't get that kind of thing at all. I mean, Europe got even more unlucky because they got a version of the system that cost more and had less storage when you break it down. Because they slotted in for the PS5 digital in European territories, at least some. Now there's a version of the PS5 that's just without a terabyte. It's like back to the 800 gig drive it had at launch, which makes no sense. Oh, I see it. I see it. Almost missed that little plank on the floor. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. No disk drive version. That's the same as the one that got the price increase, funny enough, because of the storage. It didn't really get a price increase, but when you basically strip away a feature and keep the same price, that's a price increase, in my eyes, for the European territory. I don't understand that at all, for the PS5 digital to get a downgrade on storage. That was a really stupid move. But it's a cost-saving one, I guess. I don't know how that saves any money. That might save like a fraction of a penny. Like, I don't understand that, like, at all. Yeah, PS5 Pro, more like PS5 No. Yeah, exactly, got them. I got none of them because I don't want it. My PS5 Pro is my PC, and it will continue being that until the end of time because I'm not wanting to put that much money into a thing that can just play a video game. If I'm putting a lot of money into a system, it better be able to do more than just gaming. So I don't mind if my computer is very expensive in comparison to a console, but that's also because I use it to work. Record video, live stream, do a lot of other, like, basic work as well on it for different kinds of jobs over the years, like audio production stuff. Like, it's used for a lot, so it justifies that cost. What am I justifying for the console? It play game good? Yeah, okay. I'm fine with my base PS5 on that one, thank you. Oh. Wait this one out. Be safe and careful. I almost got careful out of that. It's like, alright, what? I don't even think that's English anymore. There we go. Wanted to wait until the jellyfish was down. Then the platform moves, then you can move with them. And there we go. Kind of a bold move to make these levels easier than the rest of the K levels so far. But again, I feel like originally in development, these were just going to be included in the worlds that these are featured off of. These World 9 levels just feel out of place here. But they wanted to probably give the very end of the game a little more meat on its bones, which is why we got a whole world now instead of just one level. But by doing that, the levels we got in it are heavily skewed on difficulty. That just feels really weird to me. I noticed that when I first played this earlier in the year. Yeah, the physics on these geysers are also very weird. I agree, because, yeah, look at my momentum bounce. I'm bouncing on these geysers when I'm not even in them anymore, which is very weird. I hate how that banana's just there now. I need to grab that, because I think this is a puzzle piece, but kill the enemy trying to grab the banana, and that didn't work. Alright, there we go. And there was nothing. So I almost died for nothing. That's about right. Cannonball. There's a piece. I'll stay down here because I don't want to get shot. Oh, this is mean. I forgot about this. Yeah, I think this leads to another piece. This is mean. No, it's just a banana bunch. So that's another one I just randomly missed something. Alright, well, let's see. Where's that said thing that's missed? 9-2, geyser. Same rules before. If it's close by, we'll grab it. But if it's not, I will just play the level again. It's not a big deal. Number 3. Number 4. It's 5. Oh, yeah, I missed the bonus, but I think I can get that bonus? Let me find out. I think that's like right next to the checkpoint. Let me see. No, it's not. That's actually on the other side of that barrel. Alright, that's fine. We'll just beat the level. Oh well. More time to talk, I guess. Just hang out and chill. Again, that's what I wanted for the remaining part of the Donkey Kong stuff. And that's what we got. Cannonball. I didn't know that was a solid platform. That feels like something I shouldn't be standing on. And how was that not D? Alright, let's go back. Get that one piece we missed. And Warriorline, how you doing? This is based off the final worlds and 3D platform games with themes combined for one final challenge. That's pretty much what I think the devs are going for World 9, yeah. Which is why the difficulty just feels a little skewed when you play the main levels and then go to the final one. That was from the Wii game. Again, for development reasons, I feel like this was something they probably planned for these base levels to be in the respectful worlds, but then they moved to like a full special world at the very end. Nice momentum. That's at least my theory, because I don't think we have any concrete evidence on that. Of like how these were specifically developed or like the theming behind them. It is appreciated to have more levels. I'm not going to complain about more levels in a video game. Not even close. I'm expecting that to be a normal guy to bounce off of. If I'm fast enough, I can actually get that life. This section is honestly, like, this is the worst part of the level to me. The random, like, spike geyser section, because it feels out of place. Where are the rest of this level's difficulty? And it just feels more like a ROM hack moment than anything else. Like, that's something I would see in a fan-made game. And that just appears in my retail copy. It's really weird on design, because the rest of the level is not bad. But a random spike section that feels very claustrophobic? Yeah, not comfortable with that. Any prediction on the Bowser Jr. voice actor? Yeah, because we did have that random Mario Direct today. That was just for the Mario movie, too. You know, the Galaxy one. I don't know who they would get for Bowser Jr.'s voice. I didn't see it myself, so I don't really know anything from the trailer, but I don't really care. That's why. I don't know who they would pick for Junior. I'm not too big in the Hollywood scene, so I wouldn't know, like, any of the good names for him. But also, we got random picks for the first movie, too. Like, you know, Chris Pratt, no one expected for Mario, so who knows who they're gonna really reach out for. No, what the bonk, dude. And then the weird momentum from being pushed back, which I'm surprised I can get pushed back in the geyser. So that's just kind of dumb. Now we're just rushing. I take my time because I'm just tired of dying in this section. I'm just not gonna rush it. Oh, is it tomorrow, not today? I guess I'm getting my dates mixed up. Yeah, so I guess maybe we'll get an announcement on The Voice tomorrow, if that's true. Again, I don't really know who they would get if they, you know, put Bowser Jr. in the movie. But at this point, anyone apparently is possible. Because Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong's another one nobody expected, or even the choice of Bowser being the most random. Hey, I'm not complaining about Jack Black's performance, but I don't think that made any sense for what the character's theme is for most of the games. But yeah, his role worked out really well. I actually really liked Jack Black as Bowser from the first movie. Wait a minute, did I miss it? Because I was kind of going fast. Hope I didn't. I'm trying to figure out where that was. The geyser. Come across 3 geysers. I might have missed it. I'm looking for a specific landmark. I didn't see it. No, I don't think we did. I don't think we did. Come across 3 geysers. Oh, this is it. This is it. Yeah, no. I could have got this then before. Looking at the picture not being mirrored actually did screw me up for once. That's unfortunate, but whatever. Again, I've only played these levels once, so I don't have anything really memorized, like at all. Landmarks on these stages are worthless to me. Alright, so there's all the pieces, now we can just finish this. Like for this section, it's not that bad. That, like, middle checkpoint is the worst part of the stage. Handball. Oh, nice. I got the music glitch there for a second. Every once in a while, when you load into this little, like, walking animation thing that go in between stages, the music just bugs out. That was the thing even back in the Wii version, so... Nothing very new for these ports. That's just a weird quirk of returns. Or for having the most missed potential. Yeah. too many gimmicks in World 4. That didn't help it. With all of the carts and the barrel stuff, it was just too much. Alright, thankfully this level's not that bad in pieces, but the gimmick of the level was why. I'm not gonna be sitting still in this one for too much. Well, that almost didn't work out. Got it. That was a little nerve-wracking. I think they wanted you to wait until that other platform was ready to retract and then fall into the cannon, but this worked too. Doing a roll jump in. Alright, there we go. Grab this, and we're out of here. Yeah, no, this level's pretty good. I think this is one of the best levels for World 9, honestly. I think if I remember correctly. Because it does fit a little bit more of the difficulty that this section should have. Nice. Well, there's a checkpoint right here, so not like I'm wasting my time. I didn't think I hit the button, but alright. Thankfully, that's the only time we gotta stop for that piece. Because honestly, yeah, getting that piece and getting through this sucks. This is a reminiscent situation of one of the levels from, like, what was it, World 6 with the bugs? That is kind of the gimmick here, where we're outrunning spike walls now. Alright, so just wait for that. And now we can get out of here without stopping, which is actually way easier for what we have to do. And then we get poked in the face. Okay, that little naked roaster is kind of in a bad spot for me right now, so I should wait a second before I get close to him. There we go. Not that bad now. And that's it. They just do that for like a small section for whatever reason. It's a little nerve-wracking, but when you're past it, then the nerves calm down. And now we're back. And out of here. That level's not that bad for puzzle pieces, but again, that main gimmick at the end is why. I do like the callback to that Muncher level because legitimately that is one of the best challenges in the game. It is hard, but it also is very rewarding to actually do that chase thing, right? It's just weird they're bringing it back for a World 3 themed level though, and not the world that challenge is actually from. But whatever. And just like World 4, if I remember correctly, this level is a little bit of an auto-scroller because we can't get away with those. So get on your mine carts and start riding. Although I like the gimmick on this one. The moles destroying the tracks is a really cool touch. Like, you legit can't go any further now. They destroyed it, so now we gotta take a side tour. Don't need the bananas, I'm good, thanks. I got hit by the thing before it even moved. Impressive. I'm not playing this anymore, I'm leaving. Yeah, at least the one saving grace about this level, it is themed after all the minecart shenanigans of World 4, but you don't really do much on the minecart in this. Which is great, because that is the big problem everyone has with World 4. And it feels like by 2011, the devs figured that out. Dude, I remember when this actually did first come out in the 3DS, because Nintendo made a huge deal about this. It was like a whole marketing campaign for the 3D version of Donkey Kong Returns. I remember seeing like some of that stuff. They had people dress up in Donkey Kong suits and just walk the streets, letting people demo the game. It felt like a bigger release than when they did the Wii one, which that's saying something on how big of a deal it was to bring Donkey Kong back after so long for this kind of a game. But they really pushed for 3DS because it was a brand new system at the time, so I guess like, you know, it makes sense. Can't fault them for that. Nice D-pad. Yeah, that Donkey Kong just jump scared you in real life, essentially. You're looking down, and you least expect it. A dude in a Donkey Kong suit will just be right in your face. That puzzle piece is tricky. At least we got it now, so I don't have to worry about doing an extra jump there in the middle of that section. I'm really getting tired of this D-pad. Yeah, these are very, very tight jumps. This is reminiscent of one of the other minecart stages in World 4, where they had a lot of tight platforming with these crystals. Basically in the beginning, though, but here's like close to the end. And to think, kids game. They took the gloves off here. I was like, what do you expect? You got all the way through the main game while 100%ing it? No, man, we're not giving you an easy challenge. We'll give you the hard stuff. Get good, scrub. This is some really good use for your subwoofer's bass, by the way. There's a lot of explosions. And then just an infestation of bats. I forgot. They just randomly throw like 10 bats at the very final section, just because. Another throwback to one of the stages, because it was covered in bats. Oh, that didn't happen the first time. Okay. Because that is just the problem of those not being semi-solid platforms. They do have a ceiling. I want to get out of this fast because, rip to people watching this with subwoofers, you know, maybe that 1%. I don't know, I can use this as an opportunity. How do you watch all your media? Like YouTube, Twitch streams, actual, like, videos and such, and TV. Laptop / computer. tablet or a phone, or do you watch on a TV? Because for me, I honestly, when I'm just watching things, I gotta watch on TV. Because I'd rather kick back and relax on like the couch or something. Even if it's YouTube video, I still will do that. It's that, or yeah, I will be the mobile watcher. I'm out and about, I'll watch it on my phone for like a couple minutes. But most of my time, if I'm sitting down watching something, it's on TV, because it's just more comfortable. But this section's probably bad if you're using the subwoofer. Because, dear God, I remember playing this on my TV, and it was really rumbling up the room. Again, I want to get out of here. There we go. Good pattern that time, because I was ahead of them. Before, I was in the middle. Which was not a good look. Alright. You can turn your bass back on if you're using a subwoofer or something. Oh yeah, this is very similar to a level in Tropical Freeze. Yeah, level with the mice. I'm due for a revisit on Tropical Freeze at some point. Because between the two, I've been vocal about that before, but I prefer Tropical Freeze over Returns. It's not to say this is a bad game, but I think they really improved the formula with the second game of the style. So I really am due for a redo at some point on that. Because I didn't know which level you talk about, but I'm not remembering how it fully played because it's just been that long. So, as I say, due for that redo. Well, my own personal playthrough. I don't think I'm ever doing these kind of hard mode things with DK ever again for those specific games, because once is enough in my life. Next time I cover a Donkey Kong thing on stream, it might be like going through a Bonanza or something. That's what it feels like at this point. Ah, tricked you. Think I was gonna do that normally? No. TV. I'm seeing a lot. It's like the original Xbox One announcement. TV. It's like a lot of TV. And what about the video games? TV. I will say, every once in a while, if I'm doing something on the computer, I'll watch on the computer. But I think of the 3 different ways of watching medium I mentioned, I think I actually watch the least amount of stuff when I'm on my PC now. Because if I'm watching something, it's either for my own sake, because I'm like working on videos or something, or it's when I'm playing a game and I have it on a side screen. But I'm never like actually watching something while giving it my full attention on the computer anymore. I used to years ago, but then once these like TV apps became a lot more fleshed out for like YouTube and such, I just ended up watching that stuff on YouTube for like TV stuff. Because man, I remember back in my day, yeah, that makes me sound old, but back in my day of the earlier YouTube stuff, YouTube TV apps were garbage. They barely functioned. If they even functioned at all. They're so much better now. Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare without Diddy. Okay, it's actually not that bad. Thought these would be faster, but they're not. Hopefully that's not a puzzle piece, because I did miss the one banana. Now you're gonna make me want to check. No, it wasn't. Okay. Thankfully, this is not terrible in the timing. Yeah, I could agree on that one, Warland. I do think Tropical Freeze, better soundtrack, but they had like bigger names on it at that time. Like David Wise actually worked on the soundtrack a bit for Tropical Freeze. So big name that returned from the older country stuff that they didn't have at the time of Returns. Returns kind of felt like this trial run for retro, which is why like the soundtrack here is good, but everything just felt like it was a notch above once you got the Tropical, just because of how well Returns did. Nice. I jumped a second too early. But I had the right idea for the puzzle piece. Because I remembered one of these flip platform sections had a piece. Thankfully, I can hear the shaking. Listening to the shaking is when they open up. So on that third click, that's when you get ready to jump, because that's when they're going to flip. So here. 1, 2, 3, go. You can also tell by them shaking. So if you can't hear the sound, the shaking is how you see when they're going to flip. It's the third shake. Also, before we go any further, don't miss that. Because I did the first time. I'll do what I did before, because that's just safer. Nice invisible. Flip, I just want to see if there's anything here. No, okay. So I want to get up there, because I think that is another section I go for a puzzle piece. And then there should be a checkpoint after all this, like, brush section. Yeah, I can see what you're saying there, Warrior Land. Sounds more like Rare and Returns for song music level. It's more reminiscent, I would say, like, a lot of the songs in this game are more calling back to the first Donkey Kong Country, which is probably why you have that feeling. They're not from the same composer, but they're using his specific kind of style with new instrumentation. So, like, there's going to be some stuff lost in translation. But also, in general, I do think, like, the game here, Returns, it is very much calling back to that original Donkey Kong Country in almost every aspect. So I do feel like with Tropical Returns, it has a little bit more of an identity, which also helps. With the callbacks included, too. Not to say that Tropical doesn't have any callbacks when you look at the underwater theme coming back and all. There we go. What was that now? 5? So 2 more. Give me. 1 more left. That shouldn't have worked. Okay, that was a little bit of concern. There we go. Oh, wow. How did that also grab? I can make this jump. So I'm going to wait for that platform to move down. And now we're back. I might have to wait for a whole rotation, though, because I'm going to be on the other side. This is fine. And there you go. Done. Get me out of here. A really cool level because it is very rhythm focused because of the sound effects are your clue for when things move. Yeah, it's also visual based, but For me, it's easier to hear the clicks going on because of everything else going on in general. All right, 9-6. How much left? Yeah, tar rain. Yeah, it's kind of a weird concept, but then it's raining lava and Bonanza, so there's a lot of different hazards of rain in the Donkey Kong universe, I guess. Legit, one of the hardest puzzle pieces probably to find this stage in your first play, because you're going to easily miss that. I know I did in my first playthrough. So yeah, that's some steaming hot tar. I'm not going to touch that. Something tells me that's deadly. We're not that bad, actually. Yeah, surprising that looks like it's gonna hurt you. It doesn't, but it is a really bad thing to get hit by still. Because it slows you down a lot. Plus, it also gimps your jump, so in this case, it's going to kill me if I get hit, because it's gonna push me right in the spikes. Stop tarring on me. Man, I can't believe that's now a verb. Nice. Nice. Didn't have enough time to jump on that one. This is another section where having Diddy Kong would be nice. Diddy just doesn't exist. I'm not gonna lie, and this is gonna be a little disgusting, but the level doesn't look like it's shooting out tar. These just look like turds. And now, you might not unsee it, and I apologize. But they don't look like tar droppings. They look like actual droppings. That's just disgusting. Nice secret. This is the real secret. Well, yeah, I definitely just ruined a level for a lot of people. I apologize, and also I guess in some ways I don't. Okay, that is what I get for doing that, because button did not come out in time. I guess I deserve that after cursing everyone with an image they don't want. Take the death. Yeah, gradually over time, yeah, this tar is going to drop a lot faster. Right now it's calm, but later it's gonna be like rapid fire. I might have been able to finish that bounce, but don't chance it. Wow, what was that momentum? I held left and everything, and I still did not make the jump. Alright, what else can we, I guess, talk about here while we're going through this? Do you want to talk about more controversy? How about those game key cards, am I right? Because that's apparently a thing that happened today that people are very upset about. There was a game key card overview trailer Nintendo put out, and everyone disliked that. Which is not a surprise. And apparently we got a price now for that new Poketopia game. And people are very upset about that. Myself included, because it just doesn't sound right. They used that game as a demo for it, and it seems like, unfortunately, that is a game key card. So is this like the first Nintendo published game that's a game key card? I think it is. It's 70 bucks. It's kind of expensive for what the game is, and that's just, I guess at this point, gonna be par for the course going forward. That is a little much. I wasn't interested in myself anyway, so I wasn't going to pick it up. But I've heard some people that said I was interested, and then I saw the price tag, and now I'm gonna probably wait. Because 70 seems to be a little much for like a farming sim style Pokemon game. Doesn't help that you can get like a game like Stardew Valley for like 20 bucks. So it has some steep competition in that specific market. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. I don't really care for the game keycard stuff at all because it is just a waste. If you're gonna do digital, then you just go whole in with the digital and you just buy the game off the eShop. And if you're gonna do a physical, put all the stuff on the cartridge and then it has a reason to exist. Which, by the way, there was one good thing I can say about this firmware update for the Switch 2. Even the Switch 1, to be fair, because they both got the same firmware update. You might have saw it as a glimpse when he started the stream. But now the system actually tells you when you're using a physical cartridge. Notice up in the corner now, it shows a specific icon. That's my Switch 1 cartridge. If I go over to the next thing, here's a game that's not inserted, but that is a retail copy of the game as well. I go over one more. Oh, sorry, another one. Right here, Kirby Air Riders. This is a virtual game card, which is a digital copy of the game, and it has a blue silhouette. All physical and digital games did this blue silhouette thing before. Now that's not the case. Now it's completely different, and if you don't have a game loaded, it shows up as this, where it's a game card that is blank. So the virtual game card is better separated now from the actual, like, physical game release, and I heard that they made this easier, where you can download data for a game without putting in the actual game on your system or anything like loading that up. That's been there. I think that's misinformation. This has been there since the virtual game card system launched. But they kind of cleaned it up. It's a little bit better now, I would say. Did he just fall from the ceiling? I wasn't even paying attention because I was looking at the tar droppings. But yeah, that's much better now. The actual distinction between what's a digital and what's a physical game was there since day one with the original Switch. And as soon as they introduced this virtual game card crap, they completely broke that whole system. Because physical and digital had the same icon, so you couldn't tell what was what, and I hated that. I'm gonna be 100% honest, I don't like the virtual game card system at all on the Switch and Switch 2, or at least when it first came out. I'm starting to actually appreciate it a little bit more now, but when it first launched, it was very messy. And it completely broke a lot of other systems for how online account checks worked for Switch games. So it is just better now. When it first came out, it was kind of rough. Yeah, I don't think Kirby Air Riders are going to be completely digital. That game, if they go with their promise saying they're like first-party games are not going to be digital only, then that's going to be a full-on game on a cartridge. Pokemon is kind of like in this different beast because Nintendo owns it, but they don't really have any control over it, if that makes sense. Because that is the Pokemon Company, which they do their own stuff. But they're under Nintendo's management. So it's kind of like this weird back and forth between Nintendo's policies and Pokemon Company policies that we see for Pokemon games. That's the one thing I think a lot of people don't understand with Pokemon stuff. It's not actually a Nintendo-owned thing, but they have the rights to it. It's kind of weird when you break it down that way. Ooh, give me that. I didn't know, though, that they're facing a government inspection kind of thing now. I wonder what that's about. I know that there's some patent stuff going on. They tried to patent, I think it was full on Nintendo, they tried to patent the idea of, like, summoning creatures in battle in a video game concept. That patent actually got approved in the US, but it got denied in Japan, and now that patent's being reevaluated here. So they're doing some questionable things, but those said questionable things are starting to be looked into. And also getting a little overruled from what I'm understanding too, which that's good. Hey, I made it. I didn't think I was gonna make that. Unfortunately, I do need that barrel though. So I'm gonna come back for that in a minute. Actually, I think I'm at the end of the stage, so I remember this section. How many pieces do I have? Yeah, so there should be one more, and it's in this section, if I remember correctly. I mean, I'm gonna be taking the L at some point so I can go back. Yep, there we go. It's over there on the left ledge. I was gonna take the L in general so we can try this piece again, so that's fine. Dude, guy was in a terrible spot. I actually made that without getting tarred until I saw the enemy. Then I pulled back and I got tarred. This is the one part that's gonna suck. The rest of it's not that bad, but getting the barrel over is the problem. So once I get that barrel, I'll have to do this again. Okay, good. Much better spot. And now I can just get the final puzzle piece and beat the stage. Which, that's not that bad. I will say, the comment on the patent thing, I am glad to hear that there are people looking into... I don't even know why I get hit by. That's weird. I'm glad there are people looking into the patent stuff, because that does seem to be a very anti-consumer thing for them to even try. We've seen games inspired by other mechanics before, and do things that were similar on concept, but still unique enough that it justifies that game's, like, existence. I mean, games copy each other all the time. That's the thing, right? You have to be understanding of that in the industry. But to completely lock down that idea to say, hey, no one else can do this but us, that stagnates growth in those kind of franchises. Like, we don't see anything else in the RPG scene if other people can't make games that summon monsters in battle. Like, Howl wouldn't exist without that. Digimon wouldn't exist. A lot of other games flat out just wouldn't exist if that kind of a patent was completely approved and then it outlaws everyone else trying to do something similar. Like, that I just don't like in the industry, because it reminds me years ago when, I believe it was the Fine Brothers, they tried the patent, no, there was the trademark, the React term. They tried to flat out make it so that no one else can ever make a video with the word React in the title. And it failed. That entire initiative, no judge approved. And now we have reaction videos from literally everybody on the planet, instead of just from one channel, which... I'm not a fan of React content, that's not my cup of tea, but I will admit it has a place in the market. People like that kind of stuff, and if that kind of thing was controlled by one organization, you would never see anyone ever do that. So that's a whole medium that would just not exist. And that's so stupid. Yeah, I mean, is the Fine Bros even, like, a thing anymore? Because I thought they're still around after that whole trademark thing failed, but they're super irrelevant now. If anything. But I have not kept up with them in, like, a decade, so I wouldn't know. That whole React trademark thing was the last I've ever heard about that specific group. And, yeah, it went nowhere, and so did they. Not doing as well as they used to. That's how, like, if they're still doing video stuff, that's why I imagine it's going on. I see a lot of channels that are like that nowadays. They were really popular years ago, And as soon as they got into some kind of controversy or they were found doing something shady, yeah, just plummet like a rock on that viewer base, which it makes sense, and in some ways it is justified when you look at what they did, depending on like the content or the things they're accused of. I don't want to get in that whole can of worms because there's a lot of people I can bring up with that. There's a specific channel I would bring up, but again, I don't want to talk about it specifically. Because there was someone that just came back, I think like a week ago, I just did not agree with for what they were doing and like charity crap. That's as much as I'm wanting to say on that topic. Alright, we're done here though. That was the last puzzle piece. And it spits me out right next to the goal, so I don't have to redo anything else. I can just hit this and leave. It's gonna feel good to have all the puzzle pieces here soon, because we're only missing a handful more pieces, because only got a few more levels left. 3 in total. Yeah, this stage is cool. It's also a nice throwback to just the Donkey Kong arcade stuff, because there's a lot of references to Donkey Kong arcade in this. Come on out. Legs. Also, it's kind of... it's almost impossible to miss a lot of the puzzle pieces in this stage. You have to jump over every single puzzle piece you don't want to collect. It's the only reason why this file was able to clear that, because if I wasn't able to jump over the pieces, this would have been like an AK situation again. I thought that was gonna hit you. Oh well. I just wait, and now I can just take you out. Nice. Too close. Yeah, yeah, maybe this is the robot that's in Mario Kart World. Who knows? DK Space Force as a stage is pretty interesting. Not my favorite track to race on in Mario Kart World, but it is a pretty fun one nonetheless. I think the only thing I don't like about it as much is that every lap almost feels the same. Yeah, see, that's how you can avoid the pieces, if you're going for a 0-piece run like I did to set this file up. Thank you. Well, 7's your favorite world for returns. I can see why. I think Factory is one of the strongest worlds in this game. And this is legit one of the best stages featured in World 9, too. So Factory reigns supreme once again. I hate, though, my brain is instantly just defaulting to a meme that's here. Because I got randomly recommended this again a few months ago. And because of that, every time I hear this specific song, it lived rent-free in my head. And now I hate this. But I'm going to have to subject everyone else to this. I just got to find it first. Because it's a whole trilogy of this crap. But I'm going to just get the one that's relevant to this stage. Alright, I found it. Let me just crank down the volume so it doesn't bleed out everyone's ears. I'm gonna move the browser source down below so I can just let you listen to it. Oh, actually, you know what? No. Let's do another one, actually. Let's not do that. just put it in this corner. Why not? That'd be fine. Well, actually, other corner. Put it over there. It'll be fun for people to get back from the ad break on the Twitch side, because they get to hear something really stupid. I'm sorry, but this lives rent-free in my head. Because of that, you guys are gonna get subjected to it now, too. I'm gonna turn down the main game's audio so it doesn't overlap with this. I can't. Every time I hear the song, I literally just have to hear this. It legit, they're bangers, but they're memes. Now that's the reaction I was expecting. Oh, that was the puzzle piece section. I forgot that's existing. Ah, crap. I think I'm in the clear still. Yeah, I can just die here. That's fine. I'm scared. No, alright, it's almost done. These are legit bangers, I'm not kidding. It's a meme, but legitimately, I actually like the remix. I'm a sucker for Donkey Kong Country remixes. Let me just say that. Memes aside. There's a lot of these, though, to be fair. There's one for almost, like, every Donkey Kong Country theme. Like, there's one for Jungle Japes, Aquatic Ambience, even, like, the final boss. So, Game Playing Galleon also has one. Like, this dude does a lot, but this was from years ago when the meme was relevant. I could have swore that was gonna give me literally anything else, but alright. Too close. There's the Donkey Kong. He's here. Yeah, I legit. See, there's some of the other ones. They literally just popped up. There's the one for Jungle Japes. There's the Aquatic Ambience. So, shout out to the Udge YouTube channel on that one. I legit, every time I hear this song specifically, I think of that meme, and I hate that. But I had to at least play it when I'm in the stage. This is my last time I get to talk about it, because I'm not playing this kind of stage after this. Yeah, it is. Instant meme or not, that's, again, kind of like how I feel. I just love Factory from Donkey Kong Country in general. Like, it's a fantastic theme. So no matter what you throw this theme into, whether it be a meme post, I guess, or like you actually remix it proper, like for this kind of game, it's a great song. I'm just so quiet. It's at 14 dB. Did it not? No, it looks like it did. I'm looking at it. Let me just play back in the stream. You might have to turn back up your side if that's the case. If it's... Let me see. No, it seems fine. That's where it was before, so you might have to turn back up your side if that's the case. It's exactly what it's supposed to be, but again, we've had some weird issues going into today. I wouldn't put it past this kind of stuff to also be bugged. Let me get through the level and I can fact check something. Actually, I can just do it now. Wait. Oh, it's on the output, that's why. I was gonna say, where did my line in go? Because that's just gone. Yeah, no, this is how it's supposed to be, but to be fair, the meme kind of like overpowered it, I guess. Let me just see something really quick before I actually do anything else. First, get out of here. I got line in. I can find that audio. I'm just gonna monitor output, mute only, yeah. Yeah, no, it's doing what's supposed to. Okay, that's why I had to make sure my capture card didn't get, like, completely muted when I did that, which it doesn't, so I'd be confused otherwise. Pro tip to any of my, like, streamer friends out there, always have a second audio source on standby to test things with. In my case, I have an actual line-in source that I'm hearing this game audio. Always have that on standby in case things need to be troubleshooted. Then you have raw audio to listen to. Yeah, you're not supposed to be able to jump past all this crap. Legit shot that works. I say as I missed the final jump. Happy 800. Yeah, this is probably the worst puzzle piece in this level, because of how precise this is. Kind of weird. That's the only trap that has a spike on it in this section. Kind of just random, because if you get crushed, you're dead anyways. So the spike is just a little redundant. There we go. I feel like I should have all of them by now, so I think I might have missed a puzzle piece somewhere. That doesn't feel like that should have been... You know what, that's fine, because I can fact check it now. That feels like that should have been number 9. So let me just do a look over, because I got the first piece, got the drop down. Let's see. I think I got that one? Yeah, the bonus stage we got. Piece 4. 5 down, got it. Oh no! They didn't think of this! We have to beat the stage. We got all the puzzle pieces. I will elaborate when I'm done. But we can't do it in mirror mode. The last piece is impossible in mirror mode. Oh, that is so dumb. This is so dumb. Oh my god. Alright, so I knew something was wrong during that barrel section. And I was right. Because of a specific item that doesn't spawn, due to us not being able to get hearts, we are locked out of a piece. There is one that we can't get. Wow. I can't believe we actually ran into a actual game-breaking puzzle piece, so to say. And that's why I like doing these kind of challenge runs, because we just learned something new today. I will elaborate when we're done with the stage more. But if this was normal mode, that was my final puzzle piece that I got, getting into the last DK body section. Alright, just shoot your fire first. And then thankfully I don't need to do anything here with the enemies. So I'm just gonna hit the switch. And now, do your job. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna have the rare run back at the level where we are not playing in mirror mode. This is the only time we are locked out of a piece because we need to collect a heart. So, you remember this specific sequence we were going through? You shoot back and forth on 2 different barrels, and you shoot in the middle to collect items. The final item is a heart. If you collect that said heart, the game spawns a puzzle piece. We didn't get that at all. In fact, we can fact check that right now by looking at the VOD. It's gonna be a little bit of a VODception here. Doesn't really matter, just for the sake of what we need to do. Here we go. I see it. It's right here. So I'm gonna fix this. There we go. So, in this section specifically, you collect all the bananas, and then you collect the banana coin, and then right here, this is where things get stupid. This is supposed to be a heart right in the center, but because we're playing on mirror mode, hearts don't spawn. You need to collect the heart to spawn the puzzle piece. It's impossible to get in mirror mode, because there's no hearts. So I have to play this level again, but this time around, I need to have a heart there. So we're gonna have to run that back in normal mode. Wow, that's weird. And you were pretty much saying what I was going to do too, Aiden. What we're gonna do just to make it similar is once Donkey gets in. Oh. There you go. Now you get the mirror mode experience. And then that's that. But I do think, though, to simulate that more, I don't normally do this, but I'm going to play off the capture feed so I can also have the same experience. Although, I need to take a second for that, because for me to do the same thing is a little bit more complicated. Oh, this is gonna mess me up, though. I just realized why. Ah, it should be fine. Because now my lefts are my rights. Oh, this is so weird feeling. Oh, dear God. Okay, we're taking a side quest really quick. You're gonna see mirrored home screen. I need to do custom map. If it even lets me. I just realized that. It might not. Wait, how do I do the... Wait, no, I can just do it from the game now. What am I thinking? This will be easier. Yeah, I can map these to the different sides. Okay. This is gonna be scuffed, but it works. Your button mapping has changed. Why? Why, sir? So now if I hold right and left, okay, that's correct. Nobody is ever gonna play the game like this. But here we are. Alright, I did take the def though, right? So I gotta hit the button. We started this at 8:03. Yeah, we did. Okay, so my bad I'm not doing that, but it's up to date now. Alright, so now I'm basically playing like how we just did. I can't do the hold left and go right mentality. No, that's just not gonna work. Custom mapping all the way. The fact that you're allowed to swap the D-pad between the lefts and the rights is really stupid. I shouldn't be allowed to do that, but it's a good thing I can for stuff like this. I knew it. I knew you were gonna do that. I knew it. I should have went to the other way. And yeah, we're going back to the remat. Thankfully, the game does scream at you when you have this wrong. Although, the Switch 1 allowed me to change that, like, when I went out of the menu immediately, but I don't think the Switch 2 does. So I might have to go into the actual, like, custom remap menu for that. I actually forgot to take the hit, so that's fine. Yeah, I'm just so glad capture cards are super low latency nowadays, because, man, I can't imagine doing this with, like, the capture card I had 10 years ago. Man, everyone nowadays is, like, spoiled when it comes to capture cards and how they work. Because when I was first getting into this stuff, capture cards were horrendous. You're lucky you got any video out from your console into a computer, let alone anything that was decent quality. And once we got to the HD round, things were super laggy. Like, it worked, but you were not streaming from HD cards when they first came out, because they were like 2 seconds behind. I don't miss those days. Those days were rough. Still enough of an input delay to feel slightly off, but not enough to, like, fully be a problem. Oh, the moment he hit the fire, that makes sense. I can't tell how many lives I have left with the mirror, though. It's like, that's 7-5. I got 75. Perfect. Wait, what do you mean that's 57? So, yeah, I don't really think they tested getting puzzle pieces in mirror mode. And I think this is your final confirmation of that. In the Wii game? Not really. I think it was play tested a bit with mirror mode. But puzzle piece-wise, no. No, the original does never did. You get to this? That's a whole other argument. No way, not even close, because they missed one. This puzzle piece entirely you can't get in a mirror mode. This is the only one that we have had this problem. That is actually a good track record, because I've played some other hard modes like this before, and a lot of stuff you can't do because of like how the game's designed with its different difficulty, essentially being a new game plus. So this is not bad. Only having one puzzle piece I can't get because of mirror mode. That's actually better than I expected, because I would expect a couple of these to be impossible to get, not just one. Actually, I have an idea. I didn't mean to fall, so that's not the idea. There you go. Yeah, that's just easier, because I don't like making that jump normally. That jump's kind of stupid. Film with a potato. That's pretty much how it was in, like, the early 2000s, for, like, 2010s. For a while there, and, like, the late 2000s especially. It's hard for me to go back to my original stuff. That's why nowadays I'll go and redo some of my original playthroughs I've done on YouTube. Because, yeah, the original game capture footage did not age well. Like, at all. Unless it was a retro game, then maybe. Oh, this is gonna be much harder now. Because I am dealing with, like, a fraction of an input delay. It's not even a quarter second, but it might as well feel like it. So I gotta be really ready for these shots. Like I say, you guys are spoiled with capture card latency, but it's still, nothing beats playing the game just on your TV or monitor. Instead of just through a preview window. I've heard some people do this in the competitive scene. I'm like, how? Like, you're a competitive fighting game guy, or like, you play Splatoon or something competitively, and you play off the OBS preview window. You're mad, sir. You are mad. Alright, so there's your one hit for the mirror mode. There's your death for the mirror mode. Because I don't know where I'm... I guess I know where I can take a death. Or take a hit. Just do it there. Yeah, this is gonna suck with the slight input. Because I could do this so easily if I was playing on an actual TV. Shut up! No! Keep your hints! We don't get that at all in mirror mode, but here, yes, I am gonna get the pig screaming at me to play the game for me. Which I hate that. Super Guy being a concept isn't bad, but man, the guy constantly bugging you is. Because he's aggressive. After like 3 deaths, the guy's like, here, give me the controller. No, it's my turn. I'm gonna be the little brother taking over now. I don't need your help, buddy. I'm good. This is just a hard puzzle piece to get because it's precise. It's not like I haven't beat the level or something. Nice gimp jump. Yeah, we're not game overing on this, but that'd be funny. There it is. Now take the hit so we get back to the 1 heart. So that's 9 of 9. We're good now. That's the only puzzle piece, I guess, in the entire game that can't be collected in mirror mode. That's very weird, but we got it, so it's done. Now we just gotta beat the stage. Shut up. He still wants the help. I don't need it. You know what? There, you get your 1 time with Diddy. I get to show him off, but I am not going to take a hit. If I do, I gotta jump in a pit. This is a section where I really can't take a hit for a while, though. So, all your Diddy Kong fans, he's finally here. He's performing for you for like all 3 minutes. Because we beat the stage already, it just makes this a little bit safer. Still gonna do the same strats. But yeah, he hovers in the game. Would have been nice to have for like the whole playthrough. Remember that thing I just said? It wasn't even intentional. You cheater. Hey, the pig wants to cheat for you, so I don't think that's any different. When else do we get to actually see Diddy Kong? Am I right? But man, am I worried about that part. At least this game is, like, compared to some of the Mario games, I think the Mario game's a little worse about the super guide thing, because they are aggressive about the super guide. The second it's activated, then your file gets corrupted for its 100% sake, for lack of better terms. Like, it just takes over at that point. You immediately lose a star in a Mario game if that super guide shows up, let alone gets used. And I hate that. Alright, there we go. That's it for the stage. What do I say? Here's your 1 minute of Diddy Kong because he's not helpful for the final section, like, at all. Just because of how it's designed. He kind of helps with, like, the shoot up in the air section, but with the momentum, it doesn't really matter. So there you go. That's that. And for those of you who can't read mirror mode, don't worry. I can't either. We got 9 of 9. Now to flip that back on my own feed, because if I don't, I know I'm going to forget that next time I stream with this feed. Like, I'll do a game crop and be like, why is this flipped? Alright, there we go. So we're almost there, as now, 2 more levels. Yeah, in Galaxy 2, it's actually not that bad if you use the super guide for your file. Because, yeah, you just get a fake star. And even then, the super guide's only in, like, a handful of levels. It's not in all of them. Which, that's the more surprising part. So, I gotta fix the control thing real quick before we go any further. For a lot of obvious reasons. Where did I put that? I thought it was in control and accessories, but I always forget. Because I never use the remap stuff. I've used it for like a handful of times. Yeah. Integrate border, update, mouse. I'm just gonna have a brain fart anyways. To show everything but the internet. Because that is crucial. You know, I'm just gonna do it from here. Yeah, reset. There we go. They keep on moving things in firmware, so I just kind of forget where they put it now. So I'm just gonna do it from the home menu, like hold button. No. I'm busy blowing over here. Thank you. Yeah, to be fair, you notice right away if you're not playing with the right controls, because it feels terrible when I'm not actually playing on a mirrored display. That was a freebie. Okay, yeah, I'm not cheating death a second time. You always have to check if that's a puzzle piece. Well, bad time to jump on that one. So the gimmick here is much harder. Stay with me now, without Diddy Kong, because of that hover. These jumps are kind of safe when you have the hover. Not even close without it. God, the whole playthrough basically just kind of boiled down to that stupid Simpsons meme of, say the line, Bart. This is easier when you have Diddy Kong. Hooray! Because that's essentially what this mode really teaches you, just how vital that hover actually is. And I hate how I couldn't get that piece. Because it's either grab it and die or do it again. Which both results in death, so I'll just take the death. It does, yeah, I was say these platforms do look like they're solid and not semi-solid, so that did trick me up when I first played this level for a bit. These are kind of reminiscent of the platforms that are in a K level that does something similar, so it's probably the mentality you're supposed to have coming in the stage. You just kind of expected that to be a transparent, like you can jump through that kind of platform. Yeah, that was pretty obvious. And there we go. Got it. It does kind of feel like that should be a secret. Let me tell you, that is not a secret. Don't jump in that. That is an actual pit. And here's why. Because that was a cosmetic thing for the level. Yeah, this is going to be a little tight. I got to get all these bananas for a piece, but... Say it with me now. Say the line, Bart. This will be easier with Diddy Kong. Timing on this is going to be a little strict. So I'm going to go for this now. Because trying to do that in a different cycle may not work out. There we go. Then grab it and go. Just barely enough time. How are we looking on pieces? 5 or 7? I don't know if I need them all here or not. And I'll kind of be like, yeah, I want all these. But getting all these bananas is gonna suck. Yeah, I don't like this at all. Don't like this at all. I don't think I need them all. Maybe I know. Nope, I do. With how that trail ends, that's a please get these all section. And in mirror mode, yikes. God, okay, now I'm just mad. You gotta do me dirty like that? Really? Really? Well, thank you for the life. That just told you you can die in peace now. I need to get the container in that section and not all the bananas. That at least gives me comfort, but that's only after I did it all, so now I'm just mad. I mean, I still have a good strat to go under these fireballs, so that at least helped on preparation. And you just barely have enough clearance for that. Okay. Here it is. Get me out of here. I knew that, I just had to wait. And it was the right side, which mirror is left. That is it for the 3DS exclusive levels. Because now we are into the final level of the game. The real final level, no matter which version you're playing. It's time for 9K, or now, 9-9, the Golden Temple, where we're actually supposed to have been warped to. So that whole "we got warped somewhere" cutscene was on a really long delay, because that just doesn't make any sense now with the extra levels here. But yeah, welcome to the final level in the game. No checkpoints. And this is your hardest challenge yet. Think of this as another K level, because that's essentially what it is. It's just another K level. And it has a lot of floating fruit. Say the line, Bart. This whole level is more designed for Diddy Kong, because these jumps are not Donkey Kong friendly. It's possible to do this, obviously, without Diddy, but dear God, this is gonna suck. Nice whiff. I love the aesthetic of this level, though. Like this random floating temple in the sky with a bunch of fruit. Looks really nice. And then these tikis are shooting out like these little spearheads at you. But they have like a nice drop shadow to them. I really like it. I don't know if that comes back. Because I can't remember if this is where they start with the puzzle pieces or not. And that definitely doesn't come back. Okay. Well, I thankfully know that this is a piece. I thought you were shooting down. The shooting up part was... Yeah, this level's pretty difficult in general, but it is your very final level of the game, so I actually appreciate that challenge. And again, not as bad with the hover ability, but in mirror mode, this is gonna be pretty hard. Holy wow, those spearheads. How did I miss you, but hit the tiki head behind it? Okay. Okay, we're cleared. I don't think this is a puzzle piece, but now that I'm here, I can check it. Yeah, it's just a coin, that's what I thought. Nice jump. I can get through that without him shooting me, so that's the plan. Wait for that spearhead to stop. Because these things stay on screen for a while, as you noticed. And I don't want to deal with that. Oh, I thought I got a high hop out of that, not a short. Yeah, no, like, the thing is, why this level feels out of place. So for people who haven't seen how World 9 is set up originally, because this was not a world in the Wii version. In the Wii version of the game, that was the original release of Donkey Kong Country Returns. When you beat all the K levels and you beat the main game, you unlock one level, not a whole world. You only unlock one thing to do in post-game. Well, minus the mirror mode stuff, obviously. And it's this level. So, that cutscene of you being warped with the banana makes a lot more sense in the Wii game because it's just take you straight here. But that's not the case, obviously, now. Starting with the 3DS version, they made exclusive levels that are themed around every level from the worlds you explored. So, it does feel a little jarring once you complete those levels and get here for both aesthetics and even difficulty, because this level's way harder than any of those other World 9 levels we played. And that is just because of how this game was designed, originally speaking. Because Retro Studios made the original game, but a whole other team worked on the 3DS version. I can't remember the team's name off the top of my head. And this specific team is who made all these levels for World 9. And obviously, we got what we got here, which is kind of a hodgepodge of theming and difficulty. Like I said, I'm not going to complain about having, you know, new levels to play, but I will say they are out of place in this version compared to the Wii original, because they have a vastly different theme and difficulty ceiling. This is going to be fun, because I got to get those. I don't think I can get that, can I? I remember that also being one of the weirdest pieces in this level that you almost don't notice. And also at the same time, one of the last pieces I usually get in my Donkey Kong playthrough. That was dumb. Thank you again there, Aiden, for the $5 super chat. And it's funny, as soon as you sent the super chat too is when we found it, so I apologize in advance on that. Because for me, that thing, yeah, it kind of blended in with the clouds a little bit every time I came here. I wasn't very fully paying attention to it. But I was wondering, I think I should have had more pieces by now. And sure enough. Oh, God. Too fast. Alright, there we go. Cool. Take it slow here. You're giving me the best bombs, aren't you? I literally just looked like I pooped out the coin with how it fell. I think a lot of these banana trails are going to be bait, though, because a lot of these just lead to a coin, which at this point is not helpful when I have 999. Threading the needle on that one, aren't we? Not the first time it's happened in the series, and it might not even be the last. Whoa, okay. It actually looked like he grabbed the banana there for a second. It's like, please, no. I want banana. Yeah, probably here. Yeah, this is definitely a level theme that makes absolutely no sense, even for the world of Donkey Kong, but it also does fit his love of bananas. It just kind of feels like a lucid dream, if anything else. It just feels more like a dream world than an actual place in the Donkey Kong mythos. But yeah, no, don't be fooled by these bananas. Because I think of them almost like those weird sloped style platforms in Mario Sunshine. Because they have some very funky physics to them. And just weird geometry as a whole. Case in point, I didn't get my roll because I was apparently still on the slide part. They're not great about that. I don't like the banana platforms as much because they are just one giant slide. They're cool aesthetically, but then they're just a pain to actually platform on. You gotta wait for them to be in like the right spots, and then they count as solid floor. But yeah, no, this is the only stage that does fit in the world's theming. But again, with how the game was originally designed on Wii, that's kind of why World 9 for the 3DS and Switch version, this then just kind of became its own extra thing. But they still based on the world's, like, menu theme on just 9K, which was this level. So it's just kind of like a weird mishmash. I can't even see the other Tiki head when he's shooting me because it's off screen. That's terrible. I didn't think the guy would still be loaded. Alright, good. Again, that guy was in a really bad spot, so I have to just kind of dodge both Tiki heads. Actually, I don't even need to go backwards. Yeah, you just keep on throwing those. That'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You just need to kill the one panda. By the way, this is the only time in the whole game they use that kind of enemy, too. Panda throwing bombs. Exclusive to this specific level. Who knows why? Yeah, I'm not getting those. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, that's even more unfortunate. All right, see ya. I just don't know what to do with these specific bananas as donkey only. It's just gonna be kind of messy. And watch, it's gonna be a coin. I don't remember if that's a banana bunch that leads to a puzzle piece or a coin. I feel like it's a coin. I'm gonna have to check it because I never remember. I can pull it up, but what's the fun in that? I got hit by the talons. That's a new one. Or koala, yeah, excuse me. I don't know why. I think I thought it was a banana. Banana. It's banana bread. It's just a literal loaf of bread. No, I thought it was a panda in the original because I couldn't tell with still playing on a CRT. But yeah, no, you're correct. It is a koala technically. Because like, yeah, koalas make more sense in this universe than a stupid panda bear. Panda's just kind of out of place. Oh, it's kind of funny. It's not made by the same team, but I do get a lot of Cloud Cuckoo Land vibes out of this from Banjo-Tooie, and that was a Rare stage, which Rare was the original developers behind the Donkey Kong stuff for many years. So that's kind of why I feel like some Rare vibes in this stage, even though, again, this was Retro Studios, not Rareware. This was long after they were bought out by Microsoft and was then just kind of working on whatever the heck that they were told to make. Because at this stage, Rareware barely was doing anything. It's kind of a shame, and that's where they're still kind of at by today's standards. They just don't get to do much. But one thing they got to do, they got canceled. Which really sucks. I was really looking forward to the new Perfect Dark. It's like one of the few reasons why I have an Xbox. And now, I guess I don't need it. Does anyone want an Xbox? Well, not me. Because apparently it doesn't matter. No, I'll still use my system. I'm just joking. I can't be the only one that feels like Rareware vibes from the stage, right? Like, this feels like something even from Donkey Kong 64. And just some aesthetic speaking cases. You gonna shoot me or the wall? Thank you. Andrews were in Jungle Beat, but they're quite uncommon. They fight by dancing. Alright, I already like these enemies. Yeah, I never got to play Jungle Beat. I just missed out on that, because I didn't have Donkey Kong bongos back in the day. I knew someone who did, so I played Conga 1 and 2. but I didn't have a set myself, and I missed the Wii game, unfortunately, too. Like, when they remastered it on Wii. Which, if you're gonna play the Jungle Beat stuff nowadays, I would just recommend the Wii version, just because it's way easier to get. That platform in the middle keeps on throwing me off. It's way easier to get the Wii version, not to mention it's easier to set up, because you just need a Wiimote and nunchuck to play the game, compared to a whole bongo set for a GameCube, which are now pretty pricey in the used market. Plus, I heard Jungle Beat on Wii has, like, extra levels that weren't in the original. And that was made by the same team that worked on the Mario Galaxy series later on, too, which is a fun fact. That's why I want to try it at some point. I thought I dodged that. Interesting. Shelware IPs intended at this point. I mean, honestly, I just feeling in general, yeah. Microsoft should just let some of those IPs go. Let Rare sell some of that stuff, but they're not going to work on it. Because that was actually the reason why Perfect Dark got canceled. So for those of you unaware, Perfect Dark, we're going to get a brand new game of the franchise made by Rare. And that was something that was announced, wasn't it, in 2021? But they were struggling on development on that. So it got canceled in the middle of this year. It was like, what, in the summer? When Microsoft had all those big layoffs. Over 9,000 people getting laid off. That shuttered some studios and canceled a lot of development projects in gaming. But from what I heard, the studio was fighting hard to actually get that Perfect Dark game made. To a point where they were actually in talks with Take-Two, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's the same studio that's working on Grand Theft Auto. So, big name. They were trying to get them to help with the project and even maybe sell Perfect Dark to them to continue making the game. Microsoft was the one that shot that idea down. They did not want to let go of Perfect Dark. They'd rather cancel the game than have anyone else buy it. It was a really terrible thing to hear. We could have gotten a new game in that franchise after like 20 years. But Microsoft was possessive. That's exactly what happened. I knew it was just gonna be for a stupid coin. I knew it. I was there forever just for a dollar. Which I can't even carry any more dollars. Oh, this section. I remember this section being kind of stupid because this is where they put a piece. I think. Yeah, they keep on dropping bananas. Alright, well, thankfully I got the hard part out of the way. The Tiki's shooting me. Thank you. There you go. You can have that back. Send back to the guy who sent it out. Return to sender. Return to sender, I said. 3 in a row. How excessive. There it is. The final piece. We are done! Because now all we gotta do is just shoot into oblivion here in this infinite ring. And this is how you unlock mirror mode for the first time, because this is going to shoot out a mirror. So what does that do in mirror mode? Because I've never beaten it before. This is my first time ever doing this. We unlocked mirror mode. Oh, thank God. Now we can do this again. So there we go. That's it. We did it. Everything is now collected. We have truly 100% of the game because we did our victory lap. And we get nothing to show for it. This is where you unlock mirror mode for the first time, so the game is like, hey, cool, you did a thing. But obviously in mirror mode, there's nothing. Nothing at all. My favorite. So now we can go ahead and actually look at everything we unlocked in the main menu of the game. So we'll have to quit out to see the credits and such. Had to play normal at one point. I mean, no, technically, this file has already completed the whole game on normal, so that's a 200% file. That's the most you can get without time trialing. That's the only thing in the series that's left for the actual 100% stuff, and I'm not doing that because there's really no reason to time trial this game. It's just a bragging rights thing. That is it. So, that's everything for this said playthrough that I'm willing to do at least. So if we're getting all that, we unlock a bunch of different critter picks, which these are behind the scenes drawings. So these are concept arts that you get to see. That's what you get for all your hard work. Concept. So maybe not worth it, honestly, if you want to see most of the stuff. It is just a thing you can look up nowadays. But still, nice reward to have. I do feel the puzzle pieces are worth going for. Just don't do what I did. Get these in the normal playthrough. Don't bother in mirror. As we learned, there is one specific stage you can't even get them in mirror mode, 9-7. Because one of them needs to have a collectible that doesn't exist anymore. And it just makes your experience harder because you have less health to work with. If you're playing modern mode, you have 2 hits to work with in mirror mode, but you still don't get any health drops. So you only have 2 hits for the whole run until you die, and then get your health back, obviously, with a new life. So if you're going to do mirror mode, just play it on modern. There's really no reason nowadays to play this game with the newer releases for 3D and with the Switch version. There's no reason to play original mode unless you just want to see the original difficulty. So if you're doing mirror mode stuff, kind of how I feel with Tropical Returns as well. Just don't do the hard mode runs on original. Do it on modern mode. Makes a lot more sense. Not wanting to get the other one. I'm going in order. Go back to Worlds. But yeah, this is what you get. You get some concept art, you get some music, you get some video stuff to watch. So, it's nice to have all this. Oh, wait, I just saw that one shot. Hang on, what was that again? I was wondering where that came from. Yeah, this one. I was just glancing. This was the rough draft for... Oh my god, the frame rate just died by doing that. This is the original drawings of Donkey Kong from this build. And oh man, he mad. It's very rough, but this was an early sketch, so I'm not going to blame it. I've seen that image before. I was wondering where it came from. Now I know. It's one of the very early pieces of art. Oh, they still get the Wii remote in this one. They didn't actually alter this piece. I was wondering if they're going to alter that and put a Joy-Con in just for the lulz. I'm glad they didn't, because that's original concept. Don't touch it. Oh, at one point they were going to color the balloons. Can't remember if they ended up doing that in Tropical Freeze. But yeah, they're just red balloons in this game, just bunched up more. Oh, it's a nice wholesome picture of the Kongs. I like that one. I've never seen these before, so this is also my chance to look at the art. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Our total death count was 838, which is a lot. I'm not gonna lie, that's way more than I was hoping for, because by comparison here, I'm pulling up the Tropical Freeze one where we ended the game. We ended that playthrough with 696, so just shy of 700. So this one is more. I think it's more just because I still feel the Tropical Freeze was harder than this. Flat out. Because there were no checkpoints in those levels. The boss fights were excruciating compared to this game. And that's saying something, because these were hard bosses. So I still think Tropical Freeze's hard mode is worse than this in a lot of ways. But I struggled on this one more because there's more split focus going on now. Streaming has become more complicated for me in 2025 compared to 2018. So, split focus definitely got me a lot more in this series. Keeping up with chat more, making sure things were working on a technical side. Doing some research like behind the scenes in certain levels and such like that. Yeah, it was a lot of back and forth. I I'm gonna blame a lot of that on just my split focus not really working out. Plus, the older I get, the harder these challenges start to become, but they're still fun to run through, and they're still entertaining, I would feel, for a viewer's perspective. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this said series in general, because this was one of the hardest ones I've done for a challenge run through of any game. Just like with Tropical. Just going through these games with their original difficulty in mind for these hard modes is just punishing. I can't believe Retro wanted you to play this whole game with 1 HP. That is insane for these hard modes. Can I zoom? Yeah, there we go. But I can't move the camera. I can only just rotate the thing up, down, left, and right. That's kind of weird. Did he look so excited? But also what makes this harder too, which is another thing I was struggling on, that was a good point. You can't use any Kong but Donkey Kong in this entire series. You only have the 2 Kongs to play with in this game, Donkey and Diddy. So, Diddy Kong just becomes the instant best character for this game. If you're player 2, you're happy because you get to play the character that has the most mobility. Donkey Kong just makes things rough. In Tropical Freeze, he's still the worst character because of the 5, now when you count Funky Kong for the Switch version. Diddy has the hover, obviously makes him really good for platforming, but especially good for the underwater stuff. Dixie has the hover that turns essentially into a double jump, which makes things even better for platforming. She's probably the best Kong in that game. Cranky Kong with his pogo style jump around attack, which is very helpful for speedrunning, and it's good for spiked obstacles in general. So, that's good. And then you get Funky Kong, which is just one of everything. He can hover, he can do the double jump like Dixie and fly a bit, and he has a very similar pogo style move with a surfboard, so he can touch on spikes. So, Donkey Kong is just the worst character in both this and Tropical Freeze by a massive margin. The fact that we can only play as Donkey Kong in this makes that rough. Because you get to pick the character in Tropical Freeze's hard mode, which is the only way in single player you can play as anyone that's not Donkey Kong. But that just doesn't exist here. Such a nice thing I'm glad they added for Tropical Freeze that I wish was in this game. Going back to this one is kind of rough for that reason. And then these are just all the movies. Do I actually have to play these to mark them off? That'd be kind of stupid. Yeah, I do. Alright, I'm not gonna do that. I'll do that on my own. So, Inside Temple. Inside Temple Diddy? Wait. How in the world would this even happen then? Because, wait. What is the situation where you only have Diddy Kong by himself entering a new level? Donkey Kong needs to die for this to happen. But to my knowledge, there's no way of dying in the Golden Temple level. And when you start a new level in 2-player, you get Donkey and Diddy. How do you get this cutscene? That doesn't make any sense to me. Well, that's weird. Okay. Like, you get these kind of shots, right? This makes sense, because player 1 could be dead, and player 2 is playing the game now. So, Diddy Kong only. Okay, I can see this whole thing happening. The temple, though? Unless somehow maybe the player can disconnect, I don't see how you get Diddy Kong only. So, that's news to me. Alright, so let me do the math now. I'm gonna just watch this back, because I've never seen it Diddy only. Let's see, 838 minus 696. That is a total of 142 more deaths for this series in comparison to Tropical. Tropical Freeze was the harder one because of the lack of checkpoints, but some levels, and bosses especially, were harder here because I couldn't play as anyone but Donkey Kong. I was able to play around the levels a little bit more if I was in Tropical Freeze with characters. So I say it's more of a mixture if I'm just getting worse at these kind of challenges as the years go on, and then also, yeah, the nature of the game is just kind of harder because of Donkey. Okay, so there is a scenario where you can enter Golden Temple when DK's dead, return to world map, and Diddy enters temple alone. I didn't think that was even a situation the game lets you do, but if that's the case, that's how you see this cutscene. So that, I guess, makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of funny. You get the opening and then the pre-battle, so that's World 1 to World 8. So these cinematics are, like, heavily skewed. And they put a lot of effort into making Donkey only, Diddy only. That's a lot. Alright, let's play the credits. Unfortunately, though, these credits are a little misleading. Because these are not the original game's credits. These are the credits for this version, which means Rare doesn't... No, the Retro Studios doesn't exist. It's just Forever Entertainment. And I hate that. Shoutouts to the original development team. Because what is this? You know what? I feel bad for that. No. I have an idea. I can fix this. Because I don't understand why they don't have the original credits in this game as well. They only show the Forever credits, which is very, very stupid. So we're gonna fix that. Give me a second here to get that all set. I'll give us a full fee for this because it's just going to make my life easier. Oh, that's not going to work. Fine. 960, 540. It's going to look a little more scuffed, but trust me, it's going to be much better. I don't like showing credits for just one version because, like I said, that's a little scummy that this version pulls this trick. It's bad. So here are the credits for both the original and also the Switch version of the game. This is a much better way of handling this, in my opinion. So, interesting series. We had a lot of deaths, but I still enjoyed my time with this one. I will say, though, for 2025, this is going to be my last big project, I will say, for the year on streams. The rest of the year, we don't have that many more streams left anyways, because we're already going into the middle of November here soon. We got holidays around the corner. I want to start 2026 strong with some newer stuff, but for the rest of this year, we're going to take it easier on streams and probably do a little bit more one-offs and short projects here and there. So, I think for the last hard game that we're playing for the stream, or like a challenge run or 100% anything, this was a good way of just capping things out. I still enjoyed my time with this one. It was really hard, but it was still a fun series. But yeah, also this is good to have the side-by-side credits here, because they are pretty different between the Wii original and the Switch version in terms of its theming too, because the enemy shots aren't the same. I mean, even like other shots as well for like the levels and such. It looks weirder for me because of how I'm looking at this. I'm looking at two different screens, not what you guys see. Probably full screen this if you're not already. But, yeah. Interesting thing. I'm definitely gonna... I think going into the next year, I'm gonna take it a little bit more easier on these challenges for streams, though, because I noticed this year we had a big trend of doing both 100% runs mixed with some kind of challenge of some kind. Ocarina of Time, that was an entire challenge run with the one-hit KO thing for 100%. That was mixed with that. Then we had Sonic Unleashed, pretty much the same idea. One level 1 run until we played all stages at least once, and then it was 100%. And then Donkey Kong Returns, all the puzzle pieces in Mirror. This was something I wanted to do for a few years, but I wanted to wait until we had a better version to play, since the 3D version was the most complete, but the Wii version was just the better one in almost every other regard. It looked better, ran smoother, and in some ways controls better too. So if you're using the Wiimote Nunchuck, not really. But if you're using the classic control mod, I think that feels better than just playing on 3DS. Plus, I can't capture 3DS. It's a nightmare. So I wanted to wait until there was some better re-release. And now with the Switch version this year, this was the best time to do so. I heard that this might be one of the games that's in Nintendo's Black Friday catalog this year, so if you haven't picked up this version of Donkey Kong Country Returns yet and you're interested in, sounds like that might be something you want to look into for this Black Friday season. I don't know when that starts, but this is going to be one of the games I guess is going to get discounted. But yeah, huge fan of this. Remember playing this when it first came out in 2010 and just loving my time playing this game. It was fantastic. And no different here, really. Like, playing this version, it's janky compared to the original because it has some more glitches, but it still plays great. So I recommend this version to most people nowadays. Not co-op, though. Co-op in this version? No, it's busted. So that's the only one I would say. Maybe don't, actually. Maybe don't do the co-op in this version. At least for the hard stuff. Because co-op still functions, just not on the K levels. You're not doing enemy bounces in co-op, sadly. This game still needs a patch. Maybe someday. But yeah, that is it, though, for our Donkey Kong Country Returns. So that is it for tonight's stream of this. I'm happy we were able to beat all this tonight, because I was a little worried that final boss was going to take more time than it did. So, getting that 200% file, never gonna see that again. That's for sure. If I ever do this again, I recommend people just play this in Modern. So if I ever do this, it's in Modern mode, that's for sure. But yeah, don't go for puzzle pieces in Mirror. That's also the takeaway. But that is it. As I mentioned, this rest of the year is going to be a little bit easier on streams. And Thursday, you're going to see that, as we're going to be doing a First Impressions little stream on Pokemon Legends ZA. I've been meaning to play the game, so we're going to start screwing around with it for a little bit on Thursday, just so I can start playing it for myself and get a feel for it. Might even try it on the original Switch. We'll see. But yeah, that's the current plan. And then join us back here on Saturday as well, because there is another Kirby Air Riders demo happening this weekend. I want to try out the demo on the weekend as well, because I really enjoyed playing it this past weekend. So that is the streaming schedule for this week. So with that said, I'm going to get back to work on some video stuff, because I want to launch a new series on the YouTube channel soon. And that thing I was hinting at, I was waiting on, happened today, and I wasn't expecting that. So I need to get to work on these videos stat, because my time window for making this a very relevant series is closing. So I'm going to get to work on some new video stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. It was a lot of fun. But with that said, that is it for tonight's stream. You don't even get an outro. That's just apparently not allowed. Why does that keep happening? Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you back on Thursday. Take care and have a good night, everybody.